What's up, everybody? Matthew Jinks here, and this is another video for young drummers. And this time we're going to be working on syncopation, specifically playing the E's or the U's on your snare drum part or on your bass drum part. All right, so let's say you had a beat that is like this. Okay, so there are a couple of beats on the bass drum pattern and one beat on the snare drum that's either a E or a And when I'm say that E or I'm talking about how you count 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, and a good practice to do that is when you're doing your single stroke roll. If you haven't counted 16th notes yet, practice that when you're doing your single stroke roll, because it is a bit of a tongue twister at first and it takes a few weeks to get used to. So just remember, all the downbeats and counts are going to be on your right hand, and all the E's and U's will be on your left hand. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. I know most of the metronome apps do have an option where they will count for you, and if you just put it on 16th notes, they will count the 16th notes for you, so you could practice along with that. All right. So another way to get used to that is when you're doing your single stroke roll on your snare drum, you're counting 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. First, just put your right hand on your hi-hat and play that same single stroke roll. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. It's still single stroke roll, but it sounds totally different, and it just takes a minute to get used to, hearing that, hearing the way it sounds. Okay, so now putting it on your bass drum. So now you have to do this. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Because up to this point, you've always played your right foot and your right hand together. Okay, so now you have to get used to alternating them. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. And if you have to take that really slow, take it as slow as you can control it. Because you can't play you can't play any faster than you can control. Okay, so let's go back to our beat, since we have that all, understood. So, and I'll do it at counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 4, up 1. 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 Okay, so that the bass drum beat, the bass drum note that is the 16th note is this one. 1, 2. So right there, 1 and a 2. So it occurs right before you play your snare drum on beat 2. 1 and a 2. Okay, so you have to get used to doing that. A 2. It happens when both hands are in the air and it comes down, both hands come down on beat 2. A 2. Almost like you're sneezing. You can remember it that way. Okay, so then go and on 2, and on 2, because you have that and on the hi-hat by itself right before that bass drum note. And on 2, 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 and on 2. So back up to beat 1. 1 and a 2. 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 So I guess I did 2 uhs in a row. Do 2 uhs in a row. That's a little tough. That could be a whole different beat, but let's just leave it for 1/16th note on the bass drum pattern for now. So you have 1, 2, and 4 1, because we have that other on the snare drum note. 1, 2, and 4 1, 2 and. Okay, so now make sure you can get to that and in the bass drum pattern. 1, 2, and. Okay, 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. 1, 2 and. And then you have another and. 1, 2 and 4 1. 4 and 1. So now you gotta work on that. 4 and 1. So all your hands. 4 and 1. 4 and 1. 4 and 1. Both hands hit on 4. Then you do and 1. So right, left, right. That's all that is. Just like single stroke roll. Right, left, right. Right, left, right. 4 and 1. Both hands together on 4, and then right, left, right. 4 and 1. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, right, left, right. 2 and 3, and 4, right, left, right. Simple enough. Okay, you can do the other beat that I played had 2 uhs in a row on the bass drum pattern. 1, 2, and 4, 1, 2, and 4, 1, 2, and 4, 1, 2, and 4, 1. Okay, so once you get the understanding of where to place these notes, or bass drum pattern or the snare drum pattern, and you can count the 16th notes, you can put them anywhere. Like 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 1. All right. And so it's not so random. You can make a simple exercise like just work on snare drum patterns. So if you take your bass drum and just leave it on 1 and 3. So all you're doing is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And then start your snare drum on the E of 1 and the E of 3. 1, E, 2, E, 4. 1, E, 2, E, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Yeah, slow down a little bit. 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. Okay? Then you move the snare drum pattern to the of 2 and the of 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 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 1. Okay? So now you can go 1 and 2 and 4, 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 1. So it's just a matter of playing single stroke roll. That's all it is. Single stroke roll. All you're doing is that. Now, of course, you don't want all of those notes to be the same volume. You want to play it more like that. Always play your 2 and 4 louder than the other notes. We call those smaller notes ghost notes. Or, you know, if we could just stick to taps, calling them taps, because you're just still tapping them. Traditionally, we call them ghost notes because they are a little softer than taps, but, you know, you can call them what you want to call them. Anyways, they have to stay low, all right? Still going to be heard, but they're not supposed to be as loud as your backbeat notes on 2 and 4. Okay, just understand that. All right, so now you kind of want to do the same thing with your bass drum pattern. So still, you just want the snare drum to be on 2 and 4, and the bass drum basically sticking to 1 and 3. So now you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, so now it gets a little trickier. So we're going to try this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So what you're doing is you're playing the before the snare drum hits on 2, and then you're playing the E right after that. 1, 2, and 3, and 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 1. You know, or first we could try just 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 1. Yeah, why don't we do that instead? Because I don't think we've done any E's yet. All right, so go 1 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay? Then you can get a little brave and try the 2 bass drum notes in a row. So you have 1 and 2 and 1 and 1 and 3 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 and 1 and 1. All right? Makes sense? It's very simple. All right? You're either doing them on your foot or on your snare drum, bass drum or snare drum. All right? And then you can, you know, mix them back and forth in the same pattern, all right? In the same measure. 1, 2. As long as this stays consistent, you always know where you are in the beat, and you have to count, of course. 1, 2, and 3, 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 1, 2, okay? So, a beat like that sounds like there's a whole lot going on, but there really isn't. It's just a matter of either doing this or doing this. If you want to make a little exercise for yourself like that, that's cool too. Do a measure of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Or count 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 And breathing. All right, eventually you learn how to breathe while you're playing and doing all that too. So breathing is a very important part of it. All right, always make sure you breathe, or yeah, you'll run out of steam real fast. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. Hope you got a lot out of it. And yes, until then, next time, keep drumming.